This is One on One. We are now joined by Bruce Goldstein, who is the chair of the Board of Trustees of the New Jersey Sharing Network. Good to see you, Bruce.
Good to see you.
New Jersey Sharing Network is a great organization. We've been working with them for the last several years, dedicated to
promoting organ transplantation in New Jersey and facilitating the transfer.
And you got involved with this organization May 29, 2005. You had a heart transplant, and it changed your life?
Well, yeah, like it gave me life. I had a heart transplant on May 29, 2005. I'd suffered a massive heart attack the prior December, and the only shot that I had was an organ transplant. And I was fortunate. I had several procedures, sort of complex, but it ended up with a new heart and a life.
Bruce, did you even know about this organization before that?
No, and you know, I didn't know about it, and ironically, the organization is in New Providence, about a block and a half from where we used to live. And so it's really a world of ironies.
And by the way, we've been working with the organization, the Sharing Network, and the information will be up there. You need to know more. There's just not enough information about organ and tissue donation in the state, and that's why we're doing public awareness about this process and about the need. Lots of people are waiting for organs all across this nation, all across this state. How did you go from not knowing to having the transplant to become chairman of the board?
Well, I knew as a result of the devastating heart attack, once I got the transplant, and that's an extraordinary experience. I mean, from somebody like me, who basically has been told, you really don't have much of a chance of surviving unless you get a transplant. Strike that. You will not survive unless you get a transplant. To wake up one day and no longer be wearing a left ventricular assistance device in your abdomen, there are no wires hooked up to you. You can get up, you can walk around, you can see the daylight. It's an extraordinary thing.
What were you feeling and thinking when you woke up? You've got this new heart that comes from someone else, right? Do you remember what you were thinking and feeling?
It was the most exciting day of my life. I mean, all of a sudden you're seeing daylight, you know, and it's remarkable. To have that gift of life, it's
a gift.
It is a huge gift. It's the ultimate gift, isn't it?
Did you think you owed after that?
Sure I did.
What did you owe, and to whom?
I owe the obligation to help others receive the same gift that I received. It's an enormous obligation, and it's something that I feel privileged to do. I didn't know about the Organ Sharing Network. I didn't know what they did. Actually, my transplant took place in New York, not in New Jersey. But when I got back on my feet and returned to the practice of law, I wanted to do something that was meaningful, that I could do that was meaningful. Sure. And I was fortunate enough to meet Joe Roth, the executive director.
Joe Roth's the best.
He is the best, he really is. And ultimately got on the board, and it's been a remarkable experience.
Well, what's interesting is, as we do this program, we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of your gift of life.
That is absolutely right.
And in fact, on the 7th, we're taping this program in toward the late end of May. On the 7th of June?
7th of June, New Providence, New Jersey.
I will be there.
Will you? That's great.
I'm hosting the event.
Even better.
I'm hosting the event, but forget about the I'm hosting. What's bigger is that you are there. It's the walk. Let everybody know what's happening that day. That is the New Jersey Sharing Network 5K. What's Big Ten? The Big Ten, is that your team?
BIG is Bruce I. Goldstein. 10 is 10 years out. When my sons gave, they said, "Pop, we got a great name for the team, Big Ten." I said, "Well, terrific." They said, "You don't get it, do you?" I said, "Get what?" "What are your initials?" BIG. "How many years out are you?" 10. "Hey, that's really cool." That's Big Ten.
Well, who's going to be there with you?
My wife, our kids, a lot of our friends, a lot of their friends. It's going to be a very exciting day. It's an extraordinary day for me. I've been to many of these, not just because of the number of people who are there, and not just because of the number of recipients there, but the donor families who are there.
Talk about that, the donor families.
Oh, Steve, it's hard to almost talk about it without having tears. These are people who have suffered the ultimate in tragedy. They've lost someone so close to them. And they've taken that horrific event and converted it into ongoing life for so many people. And they support it, and they come out. They come out there. We have posters of their loved ones. It is an incredibly emotional experience to see this.
What does it say about those people?
It says they're the salt of the earth. It says they are the best of the best. I gave a presentation at...
you give a lot of presentations.
I give some. And I gave one at the hospital in New Brunswick.
Right.
And I do a lot of public speaking. I'm a lawyer, and I'm reasonably confident in the way I speak. But I was speaker number 2. Speaker number 1 was a donor, the mother of someone who had died, and she saved 7 lives. And she had as part of her video the pictures of every single person whose life she saved. I mean, that's hard to process.
What did you do after that?
I did everything I could to get my emotions into place, and I spoke from the heart. But it was one of the most powerful demonstrations I've ever heard. Just a regular person.
You know, it's amazing to me that people think that that most people don't care about other people, and I'm not going to play the numbers game, but we've had people who are donor family members, and it is extraordinary when they talk about why they did what they did to give life, give that gift to other people. And to hear you talk about it on the other end is important. That's a big day, June 7th, and go on the website, you'll see it up one more time, of the New Jersey Sharing Network. One more thing before I let you out of here.
Sure.
What would you say to all those who are watching right now who say, that's great for Bruce, that's terrific that it happened for him, but what do you want me to do?
Register. Register to be an organ donor. Register to be an organ donor. Go online at njsharingnetwork.org.
Check it off.
Check it off. If you can't check it off, tell your family.
And what about with your driver's license when you renew it?
Renew it and make sure it says organ donor.
There's no reason not to.
There's no reason not to.
There's no religious, we've done this a million times. There's no organized religion that officially says this is not the right thing to do.
Organized religion embraces it.
Yes.
It's the only way one could achieve immortality. Isn't that ironic?
Bruce Goldstein, Chairman of the Board of Trustees at a great organization called the New Jersey Sharing Network. You honor us by being here. We are so glad that you have 10 years with the gift of life, and you're continuing to give to others. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you so much.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by New Jersey Council of County Colleges, Bergen Community College, New Jersey Natural Gas, Qualcare Inc., Verizon Communications, Cone Resnick, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.